Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.
Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show, sponsored by Arnold Clark. It is Friday. We are getting back to domestic issues. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you to you for joining us on the programme and spreading the word as well, with the ever-growing football family watching the show Monday to Friday. In the studio with me, two guys who've been talking about exclusive bottles of wine. Oh, how they've changed from their early days of playing football. Alan Ruff and Darren Jackson, connoisseurs of wine, but are they connoisseurs of football nowadays? We'll find out. Lots to talk about after the international break. It's good to get back to the domestic football and look forward to Saturday and Sunday in the Scottish Premiership. And there's a tasty game down south in England to look forward to as well. Manchester United against Liverpool. So, first, congratulations to Rangers. It's a double Ruffy. It's Manager of the Month for Steven Gerrard. It's Player of the Month for Alfredo Morelos.
Yeah, both of them have been super for the month as a player. He's really made us all sort of take a hard look at him with the carry-on that was going on last year, and he seems to have upped his game. And where Rangers are sitting in the league just now, you can't complain with any of these two awards, and it just shows you how well they're all doing just now. Yeah, I think Morelos has come on leaps and bounds, Darren. He's towed the line. He's suddenly, I think, maturing, month by month, year by year.
Without doubt, I've always liked him, and you've got to have that edge. But he was letting his teammates down last year by getting booked and up, but getting sent off 4 and 5 times isn't good enough. But I heard a report from Steven Gerrard saying he's been a different player since Candace has gone. He mixes with the players more, and I think that'll play a big part in maybe listening to the experienced ones saying you need to cut out a little bit. No, don't take it all out of him, but I like him. I think he's a real good prospect.
Yeah. Over and above that, I've got to get your thoughts, guys, on Katic. Signs a new deal to 2023. Didn't see that coming, Ruffy. Is he worthy of a long-term future at Rangers?
Well, I think the supporters have still got to make up their minds on him. He seems to be in and out. That he's certainly got a quality there. Maybe he's just one of these players who really needs to maybe a wee while to settle in, but certainly he's got everything going for him.
Yep, and of course, over and above that, it's Hearts against Rangers on the Sunday to look forward to. It's a difficult one to call, Darren, because you just don't know the team selection for Hearts. You certainly know the regular 11 now regularly under Steven Gerrard at Rangers, but Hearts is a different matter. Injuries, and of course, Craig Levein, the style he's going to play.
That's right. I've watched them twice. I watched them against Motherwell, where they were poor defensively, especially, and I watched them against Aberdeen. And right from the whistle, the start of the game, they were right up for it, and they deserved to win that game without it going to penalties. So you don't know what Hearts team are going to turn up. And as you say, if you can get a few injuries back, it's going to help. But the way Rangers are playing, the confidence of going top of the league, possibly getting Kent back, I can only see a Rangers win.
Yeah, and of course their forum has prompted the manager Steven Gerrard to say thank you to everyone for his Manager of the Month award.
Yeah, I think it's a collective effort. We as a staff can't receive these awards unless the players are doing the job on the pitch, and the players have been fantastic for the majority of this season, so I suppose we've got a big thank you towards the players as well.
Can you see anything other than a Rangers win? Can you see a shock? Are they capable? Can they do it, Ruffy? Hearts?
Yeah, as Darren said, the Hearts are capable at home with that support behind them, and the stadium's always electric. But things have to go their way. But I agree with Darren. I think Rangers are on a high just now. I think they'll be bursting to get this game. And it'll be another statement for everybody out there if they're to win this one quite comfortably. Yeah,
Darren, do you think Hickey will be affected by Rangers' interest? Do you think Morelos will be affected by Craig Levein's interest?
I like that one. I don't think Hickey, he looks a really composed young boy. I mean, I was very impressed that the way he went from right wing back in 2 games, he went from right wing back to left back like he had been there for years. Yeah. And I think he looks, as I say, very composed, doesn't look as though the attention's getting to him, and I'm really impressed with him.
Yeah, you think he could play elsewhere?
Yes, I was speaking to Craig, and Craig thinks he could possibly be playing the centre of midfield, but that's a good player, as I said. I mean, 17, and he's like 2 different positions, going from a wing back to playing a left back, and people might just think, well, he's going on from the right to the left, but as a 17-year-old, I think it was tremendous, and if he can play in the middle of the park, I mean, he's going to give himself a real chance. Yeah,
Rangers are top of the league at the moment. It's going to be difficult going to the capital city, and the Rangers manager, Stephen Gerrard, reckons Hearts are not in the position they should be in the table.
It's always tough. Tynecastle's an intimidating place to go. The fans always get behind the team. They're really close to the pitch. I believe Hearts are in a false position. If you look at the personnel they've got in the squad, if you roll the clock back 12 months ago, they were sitting top of the league, 8 points ahead of us. So they've certainly got the talent and the players and the management staff to move up the league. And I think at times they haven't got the results maybe their performances deserve. So it'll be a real tough test for us. We have to go there and try and find the level of performance that we have done on previous occasions where we've managed to get the win, because the 2 times we've been there, we've performed really well.
Ruffy, prediction?
I'm going to go Rangers to win 2-1.
I'm going 2-0 Rangers.
Okay, so an emphatic endorsement of Rangers to win at Tynecastle. What about Celtic on the Saturday? They're at home to Ross County. They've obviously got that Europa League match coming up against Lazio. Lazio not happy with the fact that they feel as if Celtic are getting an advantage with some of their fans not permitted to come into the game due to the racist abuse that they've been handing out and the Nazi salutes of the Lazio fans inside the stadium. So will that have an effect on their team against Celtic, and what does it hold for the Celtic players going in there? Will they be subjected to racist abuse? Well, Neil Lennon was quite emphatic today talking about that and saying that he wouldn't be holding it against any of his players if they looked at it and thought, you know, we're going to walk off.
I would not discourage any player from walking off a pitch if he's getting racially abused. I think I would encourage it, because at the end of the day it's pointing out there's a wrong here, and we all have to do a little bit more to prevent it. And for the individuals, it's personal and it's very, very hurtful.
The world is changing, the attitudes are changing. I'm not so sure that the racist abuse, sectarian abuse, homophobic attitudes of some people, I don't think that's changed. I think what's happening is more and more people are making a strong stance against it. It's going to take some group of players walking off before I think some people get the message, Darren.
I think it is, Peter. There was a big stance the other night, obviously the England game, and I saw in the papers that only four people have been arrested, which is very strange. But if it was happening, I'm sure Ruffy would agree that if it was happening to one of my teammates and they wanted to go off, I would walk off. You don't want that to happen. I mean, that's extreme measures that in football terms you wouldn't like to happen. But I think you would walk off if your teammates getting racially abused.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a team game, and you can see how much it would affect that certain individual. You would see in the dressing room, how much it would be hurting, so you would want to get right behind them.
Yep. Okay, Celtic against Ross County. Of course, Celtic slipped up against Livingston. That gave Rangers the opportunity to go to the top of the table, which they grabbed with both hands. As far as this time around is concerned, Fraser Foster, the Celtic goalkeeper, said Livingston was a wake-up call for all the team.
Obviously we got off to a great start in the league, and a couple of indifferent results there, but just a bit of a wake-up call maybe, or just one of them. Like, we always know at some point during the season you're going to have these games, and it's all about how you react and what you learn from that, and how you build on that, and how you turn them into wins.
Well, we've got a real title race on. We've all been shouting from the high heavens that we wanted one. We've now got one. And I think it would be ludicrous to suggest that, Rangers or Celtic would not slip up and drop more points as we go on into the new year as well, Darren.
Oh, without a doubt. They did a couple of years ago, the Invincibles, where they've gone the season without losing a game. But this year, that will be a wake-up call. Now, do I think Celtic should still win the game with 10 men? Yes, I do. But they didn't perform. They didn't play well on the day. Livingston outfought them, which is strange for a Celtic team. But I think it will be a wake-up call, and that's why I fancy them strongly on Saturday.
Ruffy?
Yeah, I think with home advantage, I'm sure Lenny will be saying to the players, obviously the Hibs game as well gets towed into this, and Livingston, they really need to bounce back. There is not a massive amount of pressure, but the pressure that Rangers putting on sitting top of the league, it's something that's not happened for a while. So Celtic players really have to respond to every game that they're playing.
Okay, lots more excitement on the way. We'll hear from Motherwell boss Stephen Robinson, but if you were involved in our quiz this week, here's the answer and the winner. Well done to James Cameron, a titanic effort there, just giving us the answer. Sorry about that, I had to go for it. I knew it was there. I thought, forget it. Ruffy doesn't even know who James Cameron is. It was a waste of a gag. Gary Mackay-Steven. Gary Mackay-Steven is someone you know well. You had him at Dundee United.
Brilliant, great talent, lovely boy. Too nice sometimes, but on the pitch, he used to do a lot of tricks, Peter, on the pitch, and do you know he never did them in training?
Is that right?
Just on a pitch, he must have just thought of something and did it and all that. And it wasn't to try and make a fool. It's just talent, and it was wonderful to see. But great player, and he's loving his time in New York.
Yeah. Did any of the coaches ever say to him, "Look, stop playing, the tricks because you're going to get battered"?
I lost the plot one day at Tynecastle. It was the last minute, and he tried when you put your leg behind the other leg to cross it, and all that was 0-0. And I kind of lost the plot, and he came in at the end of on Monday morning. He came in Monday morning, sorry Jacko, and I said, listen pal, I'd never take that out of you. That's just natural. But the best trick in the book is an assist or a goal. Yeah. But don't ever lose what you do in the pitch, and it's great to see, but it's the right time, at the right times.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the other thing about it, Ruffy, is I love trickery, people showing their skills if they've got those little tricks. As Darren said, there's got to be an end product to the trick. I mean, I always remember, a game between Celtic and Hearts at Celtic Park, and Lubomir Moravcik trapped the ball with his backside. Now, I'm not quite sure you go outside to your mates and say, listen, I've come up with a new trick. I'm going to trap this ball with my back end. But people go away talking about the trick or that moment of magic rather than... I could ask a million people, do you remember what the score was in that game? And they go, no, but I remember Lubomir Moravcik trapped the ball.
He did it at Tynecastle as well. Yeah. I was playing for Hearts. I wasn't too happy at the time. It would be great for Celtic fans and people watching, but it wasn't great for the Hearts players.
No, I mean,
but that, again, that's something Lubo had in his locker, that he would just do it naturally. He wouldn't do it to try and make a fool of a team or fool of players. That just comes natural to those players.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's have a look at the fixtures that we've got to look forward to over Saturday and Sunday. Celtic Ross County, Hamilton Hibs, Killie against Livingston, Motherwell Aberdeen, St Mirren against St Johnstone, and Hearts Rangers, the 12:15 kick-off on the Sunday. For Park, it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to go there, Ruffy. Derek McInnes. I just wonder, there's a wee bit of discontent, people grumbling about him who are Aberdeen fans, but he's had a lot of injuries, and he's obviously come out in the last 24 hours talking about the need for Aberdeen to cash in on the likes of McKenna as well. So clearly I think when you've got an asset, you look to try and sell him to give yourself more money to try and bring in more players.
Yeah, but you want to sell him at the height of the way he's playing. And
is he overpriced?
Well, if you're talking about £9 million, which was one of the bids that were telling, yes, he is, but again, it depends what clubs are interested. There are clubs out there who don't think £9 million is very much, but I don't think he's done anything for me to make him a £9 million player.
A £7 million player?
No, not even that. But again, it depends what club you're talking about him coming. If he was good into England, 6-7 million to a championship side, it isn't that much.
Yeah, is he a Is he a £7 million player in your book or a £9 million player, Darren Jackson?
No, I don't think he is, not just now. I was scouting for Blackburn Rovers and I did a few reports on him, and I said, this was a couple of years ago, I would take a chance on him. He's perfect down there, the size of him, left-sided, good defender. But I was looking at 2 or 3 million. Obviously it's moved on at that time, but I would have taken a chance on that. But I wouldn't say 79 million. Not 79, 7 or 9 million.
Yeah, exactly. Don't worry about it. I don't think you'd have been misquoted, to be perfectly honest with you. Okay, they come up against the Motherwell side that really have been the shining lights since the start of the season, out with the top two, because Motherwell have aspirations of definitely finishing top 6. Some suggest they could finish third or possibly fourth. Of course, when you've got a manager who's attracting attention, everybody's talking about whether the board might give him a better deal. He's just amazed by that suggestion this morning when we were talking to him, because I think he's happy with the one he's got.
I've only just signed one, so it was music to my ears. No, I'm not. I've signed my new contract, so like I'm happy enough with things. Of course, you'll always be receptive to a new contract. No, like that's only been done. The board are very fair to me here. You know, I know the parameters we work under, so we'll just continue to do what we do.
I'm a big fan of what he's done. He's changed a physical Motherwell side to a footballing Motherwell side. I'm
a huge fan of Stephen. I've been to a couple of their training sessions, and his passion is beyond belief. And training as well, the desire he has, and I think that's making effect on his players as well. It's getting through to them. And as you said, he's gone from a 3-5-2 physical seed, the physical team, as physical as you can be now, because it's a non-contact sport really.
Yeah.
But they were very physical, and he's gone to a 4-3-3 play, mobility in the middle of the pitch, good defenders, mobility and pace up front. And I think he's done an incredible job at Motherwell.
Yeah, and of course you have to have the players to do that, and he's got an eye for a good player.
Well, the reason I really like him is he's not frightened to give the youngsters a chance. You know, even when things aren't going particularly well, he's not frightened. If they show anything at all, he just throws them in there, and you can see what happens when the youngsters now get a chance, particularly at Motherwell. They're all coming on leaps and bounds. Teams are now looking at them, and he's been remarkable. Every year he seems to lose 3 or 4 players, and then he has to build again, and he seems to do it year on year.
Yeah, and Peter Hartley is back in the side, and of course he's well aware a win against the Dons would give them a nice little gap to build on.
Aberdeen I think they've finished in the top 4 for the last 5 or 6 seasons or something, so they're one of the better teams in the league. So you know, you get a lot of recognition when you beat the likes of Aberdeen, Hibs, Hearts, like we've already beat them 2 this season, and I fully think we're capable of beating them, but they're a very good team, so we've got to be on our game to do so.
I fancy Motherwell to win. What about you, Dan?
I fancy Motherwell, the way they're going, their confidence. You don't know who's going to be fit for Aberdeen. It'll be a tough game. It could go either way, but just the way Motherwell are playing, I fancy Motherwell 2-1.
No, I'm going to go for Aberdeen. I think they're not bad. When they come down to Motherwell, they know what they're going to get, and they usually put in a shift. The only doubt, obviously, as Darren said, is what players are going to be injured. But I'm going to stick by them and go 2-1 Aberdeen.
What about Kelly against Livingston?
I'm going to go for Kelly. I think Kelly have got their act together. They're not losing as many goals as what they are. The confidence is there. You can see it's beginning to come back. And I always think Livy are good at home, but away from home a wee bit vulnerable.
I'm going 2-1 Kelly. I just think the manager's got through to his players. Some of his methods they didn't like at the start, but he's gone through to them. And I just fancy them, obviously 2 Astro teams that playing Astro. But I fancy Kelly 2-1.
Yeah, and I hate to say this, but if you're looking for a game of the Saints and you think there's going to be goals aplenty, I don't think there'll be any between St Mirren and St Johnstone. Ruffy, give us your call.
Well, I know St Mirren are really, really struggling for goals. I do think that they're making opportunities. They're just maybe a wee half yard not getting the break of the ball. I think they'll get a break of the ball at the weekend, and I think this could maybe be the wee turning point for them. 2-1 St Mirren.
I'm going 2-0 St Johnstone. I saw St Mirren. They just didn't look, they've not been losing goals, but they just don't look as though they're scoring goals. And I think the confidence of St Johnstone going up to Ross County, even though they were 2-1 up and they lost the goal to make it 2-2, I think the confidence is scoring 2 goals away from home. And Tommy knows how to get results. I mean, it's been a hard time for him, but he knows how to get the results.
Yeah, Hamilton against Hibs. If Hibs had a goal scorer, they wouldn't be in the position they're in at the moment.
Well, I'm only going by the Aberdeen game. If they did have a goal scorer in that game, they'd have won quite comfortably. It never happened. So I think with the confidence booster of the result against Celtic, I think they could go to Hamilton and win 2-1.
Yeah, briefly?
1-1.
1-1. Okay, can't get any more brief than that. Down south, there's a cracker of a game. It's Man United against Liverpool. And which way is this one going to go?
We're looking forward to this game. I think it's a perfect game for our players, perfect game for our fans, because we've had a tough time and difficult time lately. So I'm sure we'll give him a good game.
I don't think there are a lot of teams who would love to play against us in the moment. It looks like Man United is the only one who wants to play us, and we have to make sure that that is a misunderstanding.
It's a tough one to call, guys, but I can't see past Liverpool, Ruffy.
Yeah, they're absolutely flying just now, and they're getting the wee breaks here and there, but only a fool would go against them, so I'm going to go Liverpool.
You had me there, Ruffy, you had me. I thought, go on, give us it, Darren.
Yeah, you can only see Liverpool. I think the front three, the talent and the pace they've got will destroy Man United's defence, and again, the midfield, the mobility of the midfield. When you play with Old Firm, it's great when the fans are on your side. There's 60,000, 50,000 there. But when they're against you and things aren't going well, it's hard. I think that's what's happening at Old Trafford just now. 75,000 against the players, and they can't handle the pressure.
Yeah, okay. Only time will tell on that. Thank you to everyone for contributing across all our social media outlets. Give us your thoughts across Twitter, Facebook. Join us on Facebook Live if you can. And if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you'll get all sorts of great, unique video content, especially as well if you download our app. You'll get the latest news from across the globe, and especially English and Scottish football, where we'll bring you all the breaking news and unique video content as well. So that's just about it. All that remains for me to say is I wish I was with Darren Jackson and Alan Ruff over the weekend, because of course it's always a better class of wine with two guys who are just they've forgotten all their values of when they were coming up through the football now. From Darren, from Ruffy, from myself, Peter Martin, thanks for watching.
Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.